Have you ever felt trapped in a toxic relationship? Maybe you feel like you're unable to actually break free from the grip that the emotional abuser has on you. You've been with an abuser for a period of time and you're like, I don't know how to actually get free. A lot of times we talk about this in the aspect of being a trauma bond, something that has you stuck, something that has you almost addicted. Maybe you're at the place where you find yourself constantly drawn back to that person over and over and over. And you're like, how does this even make sense? Because they're the ones that have caused all of this hurt, all this pain, all this suffering, but I still want to go back. Today, I want to talk to you about how to break a trauma bond, what that looks like, breaking it down maybe in a little bit different way than what you've seen before. Because until we actually show you a different aspect of it, you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. My goal is to help you at least break the cycle or start to see what the cycle actually looks like in your life so we can help you change it here, now, today. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness about narcissistic abuse. I'm the founder of Raw Motivations, the creator of the NARC app, and your guide in the 7-day challenge you can access at escapetoxicity.com. 7-day challenge for $7 to give you access to understanding about narcissism, narcissistic abuse. Are you the narcissist? Questions to be able to ask yourself. Be able to wonder about how do I deal with the guilt and the shame of being with a narcissist. And you get to walk through that journey inside that 7-day challenge with other people who are doing it at the same time. Other survivors that help you understand that you're not alone in the situation that you're currently in. When we talk about this aspect of the trauma bond, how do we actually break it? Like, what do we actually do to be able to sever that addiction piece to the other person? And the first thing that I want you to consider is where you currently are today is you are looking at the relationship in a certain frame of reality, in this certain idea and this thought process of like, this is how it is. And that frame is made up of a bunch of your stories, a bunch of the things you've been telling yourself for a period of time about the relationship, making you feel like there might be something there. Oftentimes, these stories give you hope, tell you that there's potential, tell you that he's going to change, tell you all these different things, but they don't really look at what is actually true. This frame of reality that you're currently in, it keeps you trapped and emotionally dependent on another person. And if you can actually step back and understand for just a moment, wait a second, the current frame of my reality that I'm looking at might not be 100% true. Like, there could just be something wrong with what I'm viewing in reality, what I'm viewing with this person could be something wrong that is actually not completely true. I want just to ask you, just take a moment, and as we walk through this video, just kind of step back a little bit and try to look at your relationship from an outside perspective. Just to be able to have you question some of the narratives, some of the thoughts, some of the beliefs that have been instilled in you and that you've also had come up in your own life. So that you can actually begin to see some of the facts and some of the truth of what's actually going on. This is the aspect of instead of just accepting the behavior of different events, of different things, accepting the behavior that's in the relationship, I just want you to think for a moment, hey, wait a second. I want you to challenge this narrative and remember there's different moments or different things where there's been different demonstration that's happened from the toxic person. Okay, so just understand you're in a frame of a current reality, and I just want to break that first and foremost, having you understand a couple things. One of the first things that I want you to understand is understand the facts of the situation. Now, we've all heard the phrase, hey, the truth will set you free. The hard part is sometimes truth looks a little subjective. Truth to someone who believes the earth is round is one view, and truth to another person who views the world as flat is another view. But what are the actual facts? You see, when we dive into this piece of facts, facts are actually the only thing that's going to help set you free. Because it's going to let you understand and see this is what is actually real in the relationship based on what this person is demonstrating, based on what this person is doing. So a better way to even put it would be to say the facts will set you free versus just the truth. Because it's not based on the subjective evidence of other people, but it's based on, hey, this is what's actually happening. This is the actual evidence that we're recording that's going on when we deal with the facts. So understanding first and foremost, you have to understand the facts of the situation. Now, facing these is very difficult for a lot of people breaking out of the trauma bond because those facts go against your current frame of reality. They go against the fact that he told you that he loved you. They go against the fact that he told you that he cared about you. It goes against the fact that he told you he would never cheat on you. But then he did. But then he did hurt you over and over and over again. Like acknowledging this piece of the reality of the abusive behavior and its impact on you, and how it's actually affected you over a long period of time. This is hard because we want to be able to minimize it, want to be able to rationalize it, want to be able to put it down of like, it wasn't that big of a deal. He was having a hard time. We just have communication issues. I'm asking you to wait. Just stop for a moment and be like, your current frame of reality might not be 100% correct. What do the facts actually say? This is hard because we have to confront the evidence, the emotional manipulation, the gaslighting of all the harmful behavior that's caused you all of this pain, all of this suffering. But you will not get free until we actually face the facts of what is actually happening. Now, with this talk about the facts and with this piece about the truth and with this piece of understanding freedom, I want you to consider that the facts are the only thing that's actually going to set you free. Like, accepting the objective facts of the situation is what is ultimately liberating. You're like, it doesn't feel liberating. I'm not saying it's going to feel a certain way to start off with. I'm saying what it will do. This is the same concept of going to the gym. Like when you first start going to the gym, it's not going to feel amazing. Your body's not going to feel like it looks great. It's not going to show up in a different way really quickly, but instead you're putting in the work. You're putting in the work to be able to get the desired result. So the facts might not feel good, but they will get the desired result if you're willing to embrace them, if you're willing to acknowledge that the facts are the only thing that's going to set you free. So how do you get really super laser focused clear on the facts? What does that need to look like? We need to be able to engage with looking through the relationship, looking through what has been demonstrated to question your own reality, to break out of the frame by holding on to the facts of saying, wait a second, this is something that he told me, that's not even true. But I've been believing that for a long period of time. By acknowledging the facts, radical acceptance of like, hey, I'm going to accept this is what actually happened. This is what it actually looks like because of the facts that I have. You start to move into a place of being free from the emotional person, from the emotional entanglement, from the manipulation, all those pieces that try to hold you back, suck you back into a piece of a trauma bond. All the confusion, all the fog, all the different aspects that the trauma bond creates that holds you in an addictive cocktail, running back to this person over and over and over. When you start to embrace the facts, it starts to give you more of a, wait a second, why do I actually want to do this? Wait a second, I don't have this pull to this person anymore. Wait a second, I don't see this as something that I actually need in my life. But until we deal with the facts, no freedom will actually happen. Then we have to move into another aspect, which is now we've talked about the frame. You see the frame now. You understand the reality that you're currently in. You're like, wait a second, this is made up the stories that I believe. I'm breaking that because I'm starting to see the facts of the situation. Now you move into the state where you start to struggle with this, where you start to go back and forth. You want to minimize it. You want to be like, no, that's not what's happening. You want to say like, oh, like it's not that bad. This is the part where we're going to struggle with it. Okay, like it's not without challenges to break the trauma bond. We don't just do a one and done and you're done. Okay, sometimes people are working through and going through their stories over and over and over of like, how do I actually get rid of this story? How do I actually break it apart and look at it at a different angle so I can take out the things that are actually holding me to this person that aren't true? You're going to experience this internal conflict and struggle to be like, what is actually true? Even after we do exercises inside of Clarity Challenge or inside of stacking in our Thriver community, even after you do that, you're still going to have times where it's going to pop back up and you're going to be like, I thought I dealt with this. I thought I fixed it. It's part of the healing journey. It's part of the process of struggling back and forth of like, wait a second, I need to wrestle with my reality because I don't want to give up that my reality might not be currently correct. This is one of the hardest pieces for people to struggle with and continue through. But what it does is it moves you on another path. It moves you to another stage of what you're actually looking for, which oftentimes is freedom and peace. Which moves us into the last piece here, which is focusing on the desired results. The direction that you actually want to go. That freedom and healing and peace and you being able to stand confident, understanding who you are, being able to move forward in the direction that you want to go, helping yourself grow, develop, and thrive into the person you want to be. Now we have to start directing it. Like we have to start directing the frame of reality that you've broken out of based on the facts, the stories that you believe that you're struggling with. What do I actually believe here? Wait a second, this is based on the facts. Let me believe this. Then we have to focus on what's ahead. like your freedom, your confidence, your development, to help redirect your focus and your energy towards the life that you actually want to create. Otherwise, it's easy if you sit in a place with a lack of purpose, you will go back to a toxic person because you do not have the drive that's actually helping you continue forward to develop you in the person that you want to be. So we're looking for, what does this life look like for you, of having freedom, of having happiness, of having healing, of moving forward in this direction. I want to encourage you to bring yourself into the circles of people that are actively working on themselves, that are growing themselves, that are helping themselves go from where they currently are to where they want to be. This is not an easy process, which is why you need support. You need people in your life to help you with this, to help you move forward in a step-by-step process. This is what we do every single day inside of our Thriver community, is helping people rewire the story that they believe. If any of this is resonating with you and you're like, hey, I want help, I want the tools, then I want you to go to www.rawmotivations.com. Click on the one-on-ones, grab a time to be able to talk. Would love to be able to talk with you and see if you'd be a good fit for the communities that we have. We're looking for people that are willing and dedicated to invest the time and energy into themselves. I'm saying, hey, I'm willing to agree that my current reality might not be what it actually is. And I'm willing to accept the facts that I have in my life and work on struggling through that to get to the desired result of freedom and healing. Do you want that? Do you want help with that? If you do, reach out. Go to www.rawmotivations.com today to grab a call.